I wanted to take just a moment to thank all of our current AVMA volunteers and to share with some of you who might not be current volunteers to think about if that is something that's potentially in your future path. So there are a wide range of opportunities, and those can range from really small micro volunteering, like things like being on the CAN or the Congressional Advocacy Network, up to really more significant volunteer roles like serving on the House or serving on the board of directors. Those certainly involve a bit more of your time. And I think the place I really wanted to think about was sort of our sort of standard or typical place that most volunteers are at, and that is serving on a lot of our councils and committees. And if you've not thought about what that might look like for you, the typical role is that these groups are meeting 2 times a year for like a 1 or 1.5 day meeting. Normally, one of those is in person at the AVMA headquarters just outside of Chicago, and the other one is virtual. AVMA pays all your expenses and feeds you and does all those nice things when you volunteer. And outside of those 2 meetings, there's probably some emails, there may be some conference calls, but I would say for most groups, they might be meeting as infrequently as quarterly, but as frequently as once a month. And so you might be talking about ultimately 4 to 6 meetings per year, most of those being virtual and most of those being several hours long. And so if you've considered whether or not to be a volunteer, I would really encourage you to do that. The board of directors appoints a certain number of members to certain committees and certain coalitions. Then there are council members that are selected by the AVMA House of Delegates. There are a few other paths to getting onto different volunteer groups. But if you've never sat back and thought, where is a place for me? There can be very, very niche groups, things like the Aquatic Medicine Committee. They do very, very fine-tuned work compared to what I do in small animal, sort of more general practice. And then there can be folks doing a more broad perspective, like our Council on Veterinary Service, who is thinking about the delivery of veterinary medicine in a multitude of ways. And so it's a much more widespread target, if that makes sense. So lots of councils and committees, public health, research, antimicrobials. We have a group working on AI and advanced technologies, a group working with veterinary technicians and technologists. And so think about it. Take a look. avma.org/volunteer is where you will find a lot of this information. And I would encourage you, if you've never volunteered, dip your toe in. It's not as scary as it seems. And honestly, I think most people find it a very, very rewarding thing to do. So